I think most people assume the journey to 1 million subscribers is quite glamorous, but throughout my 13 years on YouTube, I've learned that the real growth is doing the things that aren't. In fact, the more simple your YouTube channel is, the better you're gonna do. Today, I'm gonna share with you 10 separate unsexy habits that are gonna help with your YouTube growth. Surprisingly, these tiny little daily habits are the things that really compound into massive YouTube growth. And the best part is, they're all really pretty simple to do. Let's jump straight in. For number 1, let's start with the most boring habit of all, which I think is gonna shock you for being a self-employed creator, and that is staying consistent and sticking to a regular upload schedule. Nowadays, YouTube doesn't really reward creators for sticking with the same upload time of the week or maybe even a certain time as well. In the past, this was definitely more of a thing, but nowadays it doesn't really matter when you post, or at least YouTube claims. But that can lead us as creators to get a little bit lazy. Sometimes we can fall into some bad habits like scripting, recording, and editing videos only when we feel like it. But I challenge you as a creator to get your own upload schedule and stick to it consistently. When I was younger and first starting to make it on YouTube, I set a goal for myself. Every week I had to upload a video no matter what, even if I didn't sleep the night before. It was a little brutal, but of course in college I was super busy, so it was really easy to put it off another day and just make the video a little bit more delayed. But it helps a lot getting out that video no matter what, especially in your early days on YouTube. Of course, this isn't gonna work out perfectly. For example, on my main channel, I post twice a month, but sometimes I'll actually upload early or sometimes I'll miss it by a day or two. But for the most part, I try to get the videos out every other week and stick to that schedule basically no matter what. Sticking to a schedule like this and being consistent really helps with long-term YouTube growth and longevity. Number 2, trying new ideas and taking time to experiment. This next habit might feel a little unnatural or even scary once you've found a video format or concept that's working on your channel. And that is going out of your way to try new video ideas and experimenting new video concepts. Once you've found some success on YouTube, you've probably seen certain video formats or video ideas that bring in a way more significant amount of views than other videos on your channel. It's really tempting to just be a dead horse there and just keep making the same amount of videos. But if you want a long career in this game, it's very important to take the time and experiment with new video ideas and concepts. Because of course, your audience isn't going to love that concept that's working forever. It might work longer than you think, but at one point people are definitely going to get bored of it. Don't get me wrong, doubling down on good video concepts that's actually working is very important. But doing it over and over again can lead to some audience burnout. For example, on my main channel for Airsoft, I start out with basically exclusively Airsoft gameplays. And of course those were working pretty well, but I decided every now and then to spice it up with a new concept. So I tried compilation videos, unboxing videos, giveaway videos, and of course lots of other things along my journey. And if I didn't take the time to actually experiment with these new ideas, I wouldn't have hit my best concepts on my channel. I would have never known years later that unboxing content would have really grown my channel. But if I didn't take that new idea and new concept and try it on my channel, I would have never gotten those great viral videos. And this idea of experimenting definitely is a big reason why I was able to survive on YouTube for so long. Unsexy habit number 3 is don't ignore the business side of YouTube. Don't get me wrong, YouTube is an amazing place to show off your best work and a great place for artists and creators to come together and show some of their best content. But of course, once you start to grow and the views and sponsors come in, it's definitely important to treat your channel as a business. And a lot of creators I see forget to separate their personal and business expenses, and things can all get meshed together and not very organized. And I know it's kind of just turns into an accounting nightmare, but over the long run, being organized with your money is definitely a great way to help the odds into channel survival long term. And people will get right into lifestyle inflation or just not track their expenses, and many creators will actually have to take out loans, credit lines, and even just go bankrupt, even if they're making a whole bunch of money. And I get it, creator income can be very up and down over the long term. You're never going to see a crazy amount of consistency with this type of work. So it's very important to save money for a rainy day. Maybe it's months without a sponsor deal or a few months in a row where your views are a little bit down. And your margins will get a little bit more thin, but instead of freaking out, you planned ahead and have some money aside for when times like this come. This is a big reason why some creators will actually go broke and absolutely ruin their careers, and others will survive the long term. Planning ahead for this is definitely a smart move as a creator. Please take it from me and do this habit. Either hire someone that knows what they're doing, like an accountant for example, or just learn the numbers yourself and stay organized. Because at the end of the day, the easiest way to not be able to create more YouTube videos is running out of money. This next habit is definitely one of the most boring again, but it's arguably one of the most important. And that is making time or setting time aside to do some data and research. Sometimes as creators, we're not the biggest math or data people. We just like to make some cool videos. But it's very important to take the time and understand your channel and video's performance, and how your audience is engaging with certain video styles, new video concepts, or simply maybe a new title or thumbnail that you're trying. Looking at retention curves, maybe your CTR or your AV AVD on our most recent videos will give you a great indication on how you're doing with certain statistics. Most likely you're also going to get some important insights that will help with future videos as well. And maybe some things you weren't doing perfectly in some past videos that you can definitely learn from. Of course, obsessing about these all of the time and looking at this daily is probably not the best way to do this. But if you take a proper set amount of time aside, maybe once a week or once a month, depending on your channel style, maybe you can find some important insights that you're missing. For example, maybe a part of your videos that your audiences just don't really like and they'll skip ahead every single video. Well, it's really important to cut that out of your video or no longer make that segment in your future videos so that your audience doesn't just click off of your videos. Or maybe something where your attention graph actually went upwards. Maybe your audience really enjoys a certain segment of one of your videos. Of course, repeating that segment or doing more of those in a video is a great way to hold people throughout the whole video. It's really easy to get obsessed with the AVD and CTR on your channel, but these are just metrics that are to help you, not make you stressed out. Usually the views will tell you a lot of the things you need to know. So maybe you have a couple different concepts you're trying on your channel and maybe one of them's not getting as much views as your other concepts. Well, maybe it's time to scrap that concept and try something new. But data aside, it's really important to also set a time to do some research. And not what's only happening on your channel or your own niche on YouTube, but also what's happening on YouTube in general. I've actually found some of my best video concept and video ideas through other people on YouTube. You can take some top formats or video ideas that are working in other places on YouTube and apply it to your own in your own unique way. Of course, just straight up stealing someone else's video is not going to really do much for you. But for an example of this, on my main channel, I did a I Tested series, and well, where did I learn that from? The famous Mr. Ryan Trahan. When he did I Tested 1-star series, I was like, wow, that's a really good idea. I make some videos about some really bad airsoft guns that would be considered 1-star. I kind of was already even making these videos, but instead of just calling the video like I bought bad airsoft guns, I made a new video concept where I purposely went and bought 1-starred airsoft guns. And well, just learning from Mr. Ryan Tran, obviously I'm not sure if he's the one that invented that, but he obviously was the one I got inspired from. I was able to take some inspiration from him and make some really cool viral videos for my niche. So it's really important to stay in tune with YouTube itself and learn what everyone else is doing. Because you never know when some random YouTuber is going to have a really cool video concept or idea that you can rework and apply to your niche that would absolutely do amazing. Always make sure to do some research, and of course every now and then look at your own data on your channel and see how you're doing. This one should not surprise veteran creators, but if you're a small or medium-sized channel, this one you definitely need to start getting in the habit of, and that is keeping a video idea list. It doesn't matter if this list is on your iPhone's Notes app, Google Docs, or maybe it's even in a physical journal that you physically write in. Whatever way works for you is amazing, or maybe you're doing all three of these. Having a way to store and access all of your video ideas is an amazing habit to get into, and I cannot tell you how important this one is. I can't remember all of the times I was just doing something randomly at 2 in the morning, like making dinner, and I thought of an amazing video idea out of nowhere. Or maybe I was just watching YouTube one morning in a niche that was completely not related to videos I make, but they had a very good video idea that I think I could apply to my niche. Instead of just thinking I'm gonna remember it later, I took the initiative to actually write it down right away. You'd be surprised on even the important things that we think we're gonna remember, we actually don't. So having a list or somewhere to store these ideas is so important. And of course, then once I need to ideate for my new video coming up, I'll take out this list to look over all of my ideas that I had during the week or the month. Personally, for me, I like to have a set of 3 different video ideas. I'll have ones that I think are okay, but maybe it's not the right time or I don't have the right access to something or someone. So I'll just jot those in my future video ideas. And then I have a one above that, which is video ideas I'm actually considering on doing and I think are actually the next best video idea. And then I have my main tier of video ideas, which ones I think are amazing and I'm gonna properly execute on for my next video. This next one is gonna be a pretty short habit to get into, but trust me when I say this, please keep all of your video footage and pictures and anything, like any work you do on your YouTube channel. Don't delete them, don't delete anything. Keep everything you do in your YouTube career on like some kind of hard drive, whether that's on your computer, but preferably an external drive. I'll show you an example. Obviously the wires are all tangled up, but this is a crazy, I think it's like a 15 or 20 terabyte external drive. And I have a couple other little ones as well, but this is like the main one I use on my channel. For basically all of the pictures, all of the thumbnails, all of the videos, anything I do for YouTube is all kept on these hard drives. And of course I have some other hard drives on my computer and stuff like that. You'd actually be surprised on how many creators don't do this. It's crazy. Some of the biggest videos on my channel are compilations of old videos I made all into one awesome compilation. And these are from videos I filmed like years ago. And one day I was sitting around and I noticed at the time compilation videos were doing pretty well. I think nowadays they do pretty well still, but it's just a little bit trickier. And I was like, why don't I just put the top 10 best airsoft fails, moments, and anything like that into one video? And little did I know that was gonna be my most popular video I've ever made on my channel. Now it's sitting at like 26 million long form views. Absolutely absurd. And that was all from just keeping my old footage. And I'm not even even saying you have to have it for a compilation video. Even some newer thumbnails I'm doing or newer videos I'm doing that need some old B-roll from a previous video shoot, I was able to access through some old hard drives. And yes, you could like download your YouTube video once it's posted and just kind of take the footage from there, but it's not really the same. There's really no con at all from getting in this habit. Basically every single time I make a video, I have a folder with all of the like assets for the video, and I just put that folder all into an external drive. And of course, the external drives aren't free, but it's definitely worth the investment to not lose your old footage. Trust me, if you're gonna be in this career for a long time, there is a big chance you're gonna need to use some old footage or some old pictures for a new project. So please get into the habit of storing all of your old videos and pictures on an external drive. Trust me, it'll come in handy one day and you'll be thanking me later. Number 7. This next habit actually gets way more important as we start to grow to a bigger YouTube channel. Once our size starts to grow, we get a lot more things we have to worry about. Maintaining monthly views, sponsors, emails, we definitely turn into a full business. There's just an unlimited amount of tasks that you're able to do in a week. And there's basically a never-ending amount of work that you can do for your YouTube channel. But this next great habit is delegation. As creators, we wear lots of different hats. We're the video guy, the editing guy, the sound guy, thumbnail guy, everything you could possibly do. And throughout the years on YouTube, you probably figure out what is your favorite and least favorite parts of the creative process or the process of just making the video in general. So this is when delegation is going to come in really handy. For an example, if you absolutely love video editing, but you hate negotiating sponsorships, well, then it's probably a good idea to actually outsource that out. Because not only is someone going to like it more than you, delegation not only frees up your time, but it actually allows you to have more output. It keeps your focus on being the CEO or the owner of the channel instead of the person that does every single little task in order to make a video. This extra time you could help put towards ideation and make the perfect video. Or perhaps maybe it's starting a side business. These little things are going to help steer your big ship or your channel on YouTube way more than just doing every single little task. So it's really important to know how every part of the YouTube business works, but staying in all of the tasks you need to do for years is definitely going to be a way to burn out quick and just honestly not have the best output you can. Make sure that you as the CEO of your channel works on the 10% of the YouTube channel that makes for 90% of the actual growth. Don't be focusing on the tasks that take up 90% of the work and only have 10% of the actual growth of the channel. And just a little bonus fact here, this habit actually can help with creator burnout as well. I remember times in my career that I really just didn't want to edit videos. And so I actually outsourced that for I think like 6 months, and it helped me actually get a lot of the burnout I was experiencing minimized down. And then once I was craving getting back into the video editing process, I took over on the video editing again. The last thing you want to do is burn yourself out from a simple task that you could just outsource to somebody else. And if I were to give you some tips here that are things that are easiest to outsource, I would probably start with a thumbnail artist. This is obviously for people that more have a budget that they want to spend on their YouTube channel, or maybe they're in the point of their career where it actually has a ROI. Thumbnail artists are a great way to start, and I think that's the first thing I delegated on my channel. You don't need to spend 8 hours a day editing these different thumbnails, especially nowadays with different iterations and different A/B testing of thumbnails. It just takes up so much time to make 3 different thumbnails and different variations of each one of those. Sometimes for one of my videos on my main channel, I have like 9 different variations, and it's not the most expensive thing to outsource as well. And of course, if you get a great agency that helps you with sponsorships and people that you actually trust to work there, and they're not just there to take your money, but actually help you grow, then partnering up with an agency could be a great asset to have on your team. This one, a lot of creators have an issue with too, but it's probably the best ROI out of anything, and that's outsourcing your video editing. Most creators believe that people can't edit their same videos to articulate their editing style or personality on camera, but usually you'd be wrong. There is a video editor out there that can copy your style and do a great job for your particular audience, but it does take some time to find the right people. It is definitely usually more expensive than thumbnail artists, but it's something that is very important to do and has the best ROI out of anything on YouTube usually. But my biggest tip here is outsourcing the stuff that you don't like as much, but you still understand how it works, and getting more time to do stuff that you actually like so that your enjoyment with this career is just that much better. But please make sure not to sleep on delegating out work. This next habit is not really a daily one, but this 100% happens from time to time in a creator's career. And that's making an effort to not get in your own head. A lot of times if you're going through a little bit of a hard patch in your career and maybe you're getting back-to-back 9 out of 10s and back-to-back 10 out of 10s, you start to question your own abilities as a creator, even if you already have a successful channel. It's funny how the narrative shifts very quickly from being positive about your channel to a straight negative mindset once you get a few back-to-back bad videos, especially with that little pesky 10 out of 10 rating system. As creators, it's really important to not let this affect us in a negative way. Instead, take it as a lesson learned and actually something positive. So that's just one more thing that's going to get you closer to your next viral video. But part of being a great creator is of course taking calculated risks. With new videos strategies and concepts. And part of this risk is sometimes just failure, maybe getting a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. But it's just the mindset of what actually happens after you receive the number of a 9 or 10 out of 10. But it's important to twist our perspective here and actually think of it as a learning lesson and what you learn from the next video to have that not happen again. And of course, that will eventually steer your ship into getting another 1 out of 10. But if you get in your head too much, you start to question all of your abilities, resulting in a loss of a lot of confidence as a creator. This is a dangerous place to stay in for too long. Just remember, failure is a part of growth. Of course, learn what you can from an underperforming video, but don't live in that world of disappointment for too long. Make sure to lift your head back up and move on straight to the next video. This next habit is a little bit having to do with the previous one, but this one, in my opinion, is way harder to get good at. And even with all of the years on YouTube, I still to this day struggle with this. And that is not valuing yourself by the numbers. As a content creator, YouTube often feels like a video game. You get consumed by the numbers. How many video views you're gonna get, your views per month, or just checking your video rankings all the time. The issue with this is you're not a robot, you're a human being. It's very difficult not to get lost in YouTube's numbers as this is part of our job, but at the end of the day, those numbers do not define you as a person or how successful you are. There is many ways to live a successful life. For an example, being there for your family, being a great friend, or being a supportive partner. There's many different categories in life that you have to think about, but just tying all your emotions into just YouTube numbers is definitely not a good habit to have. I've been there, trust me, it's terrible. And a lot of the times, honestly, even personally for me, it can ruin your day, or maybe even your week. And on the flip side of the coin, when you get a 1 out of 10, it's pretty hard to have a bad day. Even if someone says something to you rude, you don't really care because you got a 1 out of 10 on YouTube. Trust me, it is not a good habit to get into the psychological roller coaster of YouTube numbers. I'm not gonna sit here and lie that this doesn't affect me at all, but I've had some crazy good progression in my years on YouTube. I remember years ago when I got a 1 out of 10, I felt like I was invincible and on top of the world. And when I got a 10 out of 10, I was actually upset for like half the day, maybe even the full day, or even a couple days. Finding something that you can learn from these numbers instead of letting the numbers affect your whole day is a way better approach to this. Trust me, if you want to be in this career for a long time, you're definitely gonna have to build a muscle for this. We must make the effort and the habit to value ourselves outside of our YouTube numbers and performance to have a healthy long career on YouTube. And again, I'm not saying you should not pay attention to the numbers, but letting it affect your whole day is something not to get in a good habit of. Habit number 10. This habit is often really hard to do, especially if we're at the height of our careers and are pulling great numbers. And this is the habit of making time to disconnect. As creators, it's really tempting and honestly sometimes even beneficial to be on our computers or phones 24/7, looking at social media and just seeing what's going on in the YouTube world. But an issue will arise if you do this for too long. Don't get me wrong, it's really important to be on top of the things, and if you're absolutely doing amazing in your career, it's important to work a lot and of course capitalize on the height of your career. But there is a point when this just gets too much. And get this, I've actually seen in my career that taking time to disconnect and actually step away from my computer screen and having a proper day off is actually beneficial to the performance of my channel. It actually makes me way more productive, come up with better video ideas, and overall just helps with my whole channel growth. It's actually really funny how this works. Often when I take a day off, it really helps me come back with a clearer mindset and actually execute on my channel even better. This habit also helped me get out of stages of burnout and even overcoming the feeling of being super overwhelmed. Because let's face it, you can do an unlimited amount of work as a creator. There's always things to do. After all, you probably are your own boss in this journey and you don't have to work a set number of hours. You have to set those hours for yourself. So you have to hold yourself accountable for not only working, also taking time off. Hope you guys enjoyed those 10 unsexy habits that helped me reach 1 million subscribers on my channel. That does it for you guys. I hope you guys did enjoy that one. If you have any questions about YouTube, make sure to leave them below. And if you want to see another awesome video by me that YouTube personally recommends just for you, here's that video suggested for you right there. And if you want to help me get monetized in this channel, here's the subscribe button right there. Without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one.